Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Learn Feed the Beast. This is episode 2, I'm Lethrom, and today we're going to be learning about a couple things. One, we're going to learn about bees. Second, we're going to learn about big-ass machinery. So I have to apologize right off the bat. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to get done in Minecraft, but I wasn't able to record. So I tried to limit myself to just what I covered in the last episode, which was the wiring, and going caving to get materials and stuff like that, and just regular old building. And as you can see, if you watched last episode, things look a little different around here. I managed to move my solar panel from outside, and I brought it in here. I got myself a second solar panel. All the wiring is now done through the floor. And this guy is on his own MFE power storage. Those guys are still the exact same. And I gave myself a lot more storage room. Trapdoor so you can see the MFE, which is a nice thing. But I also, I tried to clear out another floor, and there was a cave right underneath my house. So this used to be a cave system. I threw glass panes, don't fall into the water. I threw glass panes up in the entrance, well, all three entrances to the cave system, and started strip mining it. I cleared out a bunch of space, and eventually I'm going to be changing what I lay the walls with. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that, or what I'm going to do that with. This is going to be my big machine room, so that's where we're going to start today. And I have wiring coming down from those two solar panels down to a dedicated MFE for the basement, and started laying out sort of where the wires are going to go for the big machines, the industrial grinder, the blast furnace, and the vacuum freezer. I think is the third one. If I decide to build that. And I also have sort of a cool idea that we might get to today. Make that look not just like a lone wire coming down from the top. But first things first, it's nighttime out and don't necessarily want to do that or have that. So before we get into the big machinery, oh, and in my explorations I got a dog. Haven't named him yet. I'm going to show off the other thing that I'm going to explain today, and that is the bee system from the forestry mod, which is pretty interesting. This is going to take me a long time to cover though, because bees do not work fast. So I brought the power from the solar panel out here, so I have an external bat box, because there are a couple pieces of machinery that I want to have right next to my bees. And so what we have here, and I'll show you how to make these in a second. I have apiaries, 3 of them. I'm going to get more. And these are used for producing bees and honeycomb, pretty much. Now, you can find hives out in the wild. You have to make an item called scoop, and that's how you break the hives in order to get the starter bees. And with apiaries, you can create hybrid breeds of bees, which will produce in turn different comb. And you can make pretty much anything in the game from some type of comb. I'm going to be trying to breed up to diamond comb, which gets you diamond dust when you throw them in this machine right here, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. But first things first, you want to have these always running, because it does take so long for them to do anything. There is a method to my madness here as to what I'm putting in there. you have to put a drone and you have to put a princess in, and the princesses have a little dark crown. And then when you put the drone in the bottom slot and the princess in the top slot, they'll mate or whatever. The drone will disappear, and then the bee will turn it, or the princess will turn into a queen. And so the way you make the hybrids is you put a drone of one type, a princess of another type, and you throw them in there. There is another item that you can augment the apiary with, and those are called frames. I don't have any yet, but they just increase the output in terms of combs, I believe. I don't think it actually changes how many drones or princesses are made, but I'm not sure about that, so I'll look into that and figure it out later. So as for the centrifuge, you throw combs in here, and it's another MJ power block, so you do need an engine of some sort connected to it. Like I said, I have wire coming out here, and it's under there. You can't see it right now. But you throw the comb in the centrifuge. This is the basic honeycomb, so you don't get anything fancy from it. Beeswax, honey drop, turn that off. And the reason why I had to make that in order to do the big machinery, or get prepared for the big machinery, excuse me, was because I needed beeswax in order to waterproof some pipe, which, again, I'll get to later. Alright, so now is the time. I've already built the industrial grinder block, but the thing about the big machines in this game is that they require special types of blocks attached to them that make them bigger machineries. In this case, you need standard machine casings, and you need advanced machine casings. And I'm going to sorry, not advanced machine casings, you need reinforced machine casings. So I'm going to build those, because I need one more craft of the standard machine casing, and then I need to make the big machine casings. Alright, first, to make the standard machine casing, you need 2 circuits, which I have. You need a machine block, and you need 4 refined iron. So you make sort of a half frame thing. I'm sorry, you need 6 refined iron. There you go, there's that. And then for the advanced machine block, or the advanced casings, let me just make sure I didn't forget anything that I did actually need. I did. This is actually sort of a helpful thing that comes into the mods. And it took me a little while to figure this out. But when you look up an item, you can either left click it, and that tells you how to make the item. But if you right click it, it tells you if that item's used to build anything. So right clicking machine casing, it's not used to build anything. But if you right click like this reinforced glass, it'll bring up things that you can make with the reinforced glass. I'm just going to flash through a lot of things. These are just interchangeable items. There's on the Feed the Beast wiki, there's an explanation. These are like tier 2 chips, and any tier 2 chip can be used. I don't know the type of what this is called, but there's that. So 2 advanced machine blocks will get us the 2 crafts we need, and then 4 tier 2 chips and 12 steel. And I don't have the advanced machine block, either of them, so I'm going to need that. Alright, and to make it an advanced machine block, do that. It occurs to me that I did not build nearly enough, so I'm going to get the other things out of the way first. To make the circuits, lay things out like that. Just redstone, reinforced iron, and copper cable. And then to turn them into advanced circuits, and it occurs to me that I need to make 2 more of these. That's what I'm doing. Alright, to make them advanced circuits, these are kind of expensive to make. And lay them out like that. And there are some things you can interchange in there. I believe glowstone can be electromagnets. Lapis lazuli can be lapis lazuli dust. So it depends on what you have, but it's still pretty expensive no matter how you look at it. So there are 4 advanced circuits. And that'll show off how to make the materials that go into an advanced machine block. And you're going to need 16 coal dust, which if you have raw ore from Silk Touch or Rock Gutter or something like that, that's going to produce 2 coal dust per block, and this takes a long time. The other thing we can do while we wait is make the advanced alloy plates, and this is I mentioned in the first video how the rolling machine was the odd man out, but it's required for a lot of things. This is what I was talking about. You can easily turn copper into bronze, which you're going to want to do. I didn't even need to turn that much in there. You need 3 tin, and you're going to need reinforced iron. Gonna roll that out and give us this. Can turn that off. And then we want to throw these in the compressor, and that'll turn that into our advanced alloy. Alright, so we've got the base materials. I'm sorry. Alrighty then. So we're going to make the machine block. Lay them out like that. Now we got our 2 advanced machine blocks. Now lay out our steel like so. Like that. There we go. 4 reinforced machine casings. Now we can actually move on. Oh, see, I had stuff in there. Oh well. We can actually build the grinder. And I've sort of picked out this area. You need a 3x3 grid in order to do this. And you should also keep in mind that on at least one side it's going to need to go out to 4. But it can go out to 4 on all sides. So that's what I chose. This is going to be the base for me. So we're going to start with standard machine casings. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then the reinforced machine casing. 1, 2. Ignore that. I'm not terribly awake yet. Grab our... and this is the other thing. I mentioned last time that breaking a machine and only getting a machine block back was a bug. Turns out that's not the case. If you craft an item called an electric wrench, you can use power. It holds a charge to break that. Apparently, and get your block back. Apparently you don't need to do that on machine casings. So there's our reinforced going down. There we go. I'm leaving that block in the middle open. I should have grabbed a bucket while I was up there because that needs to be filled with water. So there's a bucket. Fill that with water. And then more standard machine casing on top. Alright. So that's what the grinder is going to look like for the most part. Then we just take our actual industrial grinder block, slap it right there. If you right click it, if you did it wrong, it will say machine casing incorrect or incorrect machine casing or something like that right there. But we did it right, so it likes it. And the industrial grinder, you can do a couple things with it. Normally, if I were to power it and use it standalone, it would require a water bucket or a water cell right there. Or if we want to get really fancy, what we can do is pump water directly into it, which is why I was making that pipe waterproofing earlier. But first things first, I want to deal with getting it powered. So I'm going to put this on its own dedicated MFE because it is a huge power hog, and yeah, there's no sense in not having one if I can afford to do it. So let's look up real quick how to make it. Machine block can definitely do. I should have 4 cables. Energy crystals. Energy crystals are sort of interesting. They're not super cheap to make, except for I've come across a ton of rubies in my caving, and I don't have any other use for them. So that's what we're going to use. I need 4 of them, which means I need 32 redstone, and I only have 1. No, I've got more. So this is where an industrial grinder would come in really useful. Unfortunately, we're stuck with macerating. On things like redstone and lapis lazuli, a macerator will get you the same number of redstone or lapis per ore block that an industrial grinder would. But an industrial grinder will also give you tiny piles of other ores. In redstone's case, it's glowstone. I'm not sure what it is for lapis lazuli. And that adds up. Like 4 tiny piles is 1 glowstone dust. And when it only takes 4 glowstone dust to make a block, there's no reason not to do it if you have the option. I could do that by going over to the tower way off in that direction somewhere. But I kind of want to do it with the machines I have built, just to, show you guys from a little bit more of a startup perspective, because that tower's got everything, and it's definitely helped me out a lot. But I kind of want to stand on my own 2 legs for the purpose of these videos. So when that's done macerating, may as well get the rubies. That back in there. Alright, got our 4 rubies. Grab our machine block and 4 gold cables. And you can grab the glass cables just in case. There we go. Drop down. Put the block there. Make sure the output's facing up, just to make your life easier later on. And yep, it's getting power. Draining power from that. I'm gonna help it out a little bit. I can worry about charging up my backpack later. But we just want to have that running close to full power when we get it started, so we aren't draining the system too much. Because I'm not sure how much it's going to pull from my system. I still only have 2 solar panels carrying the weight of everything, pretty much. Okay. So while that does its thing, we're going to work on sort of artistic way of making this wire look a little bit better. And the way I want to do that is I'm going to have my water source for the pump that I'm about to build underground, so you can't see it. I'm going to have this wire underground, so all you're going to see is this wire coming down, but then I want to have the water source down here being fed by sources up there. So there are 4 pillars of water sort of dropping down, and that's my grand plan. So I'm going to need a lot of dirt to build some frames. I'm going to need a couple water buckets to create the springs. Got 1 bucket already. 2 buckets. You can be up there, that's fine. And dirt. Dirt should be down there because we aren't going to be doing that yet. guess I'm gonna make the pump and the engine right now. The engine's relatively simple to make. Going to need some cobble for it. Going to need some redstone, one iron, some tin, 3 tin. That should be enough cobble. And some wood. And all engines are made pretty much the same way. It just depends on the materials you use to make them. I suppose that's a little redundant. What I mean is all of them are laid out the same way, but then depending on what type of machine it is, you'll make, in this case, tin gear, and then use tin for the rest of it. Or if you're using cobblestone to make whatever that engine is, you'd use cobblestone gear and cobblestone, but in the same layout. They all also require a piston, if I remember correctly. I've made a few of these, so I'm trying to see if I have it down by memory. Gears like that, tin like that. No, there's one thing I'm missing. And that is a block of glass. And there we go, there's our electrical engine. We're going to be using a redstone torch with it. Hopefully that's not a bad idea. I'm going to make a pump. I've never made the pump before. We need the 515, the item number 515 block, not this one. This is used as a component for some other things. This is the one that actually moves water, and that's what we need. So, tank and a mining well. Tank's pretty simple to make. Yep. 8 glass. Oh geez, the one time that I don't actually have enough sand. That's sort of interesting. I think I can make glass blocks out of glass panes. Nope, can't. Alright, so I need to go get some sand, and I will be right back. Alright, I got some extra sand, because I think I'm going to need it to make the pipe, but I have the 8 glass to make the tank. Right there, there it is. And mining well. Mining well needs an iron gear, redstone, iron pickaxe, 6 iron. So 9 iron plus probably 4 iron. So 13 iron, which is exactly how much I have. I guess I need to go caving soon. There's that glass. Also going to need, oh, we got the 4 sticks required for the gear. Just make sure. Stone to iron. Oh, you know, there we go. I do have more iron. That's good. That would have been bad. I think I just made another mistake. That's why it's called Let's Learn Minecraft. We learn from our mistakes. Yep, that sure is just regular iron. Oh, 13 extra refined iron. Never hurt anybody. So we need 4 pieces of cobble. let's make this gear. 4 cobble over there. And there's that. Iron gear done. Need make the iron pickaxe. Alright. And what else did we need? Redstone. Alright, excellent. Throw the iron back in there. We don't need it right yet. Throw the stick in there. Throw that in there. And finally, let's just finish this off. Make the pump. Alright. Now the idea is I want to keep as much of the immediate adjacent blocks next to this available as possible. So we're going to kind of build a wire frame around it. And that'll have to do for right now. And I think pumps can go from the side. I hope they can. So we're going to throw the pump right there. We're going to throw the electrical engine right there. And eventually we're going to put a redstone torch right there, but we don't want that running quite yet. We want to have our water all set first. So right there's going to be one water block. That's going to be the other water source. I like to live life on the edge sometimes. There we go. This might actually be easier to do from up top, providing there's nothing in the way. All right. Alright, so one water source. Oh, this is unwise. Okay. So there's one water source, which means that another one is going to have to be don't want to fall down. Be right there. Okay. Gonna have an escape plan ready this time. Yep. Okay. And another one. Right there. And finally, one is going to be right there. Alright, so we can cover this up. Has water on. There it goes. Alright. There. That's what we like to see. Hopefully that gives it enough water. Alright. That'll continue pumping, and that'll make it so we can use our electric grinder, industrial grinder. Alright, now I'm just going to fill this in. But it's getting to be a pretty long video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it's getting a little bit better for you. I know this was a long one. I sort of meandered between two unrelated topics. But hopefully, like I said, you guys enjoyed it. And I will haven't decided what we're doing next week, or next time I should say, but it should be pretty good. So I'd like to thank you guys again, and see you next time.